Konnichiwa! In this video, I'll give you my 5 tips for how to learn Japanese effectively. I'm Mineko Arai. I've spent the last 20 years teaching at top universities in the UK, as well as consulting for the British Foreign and Commonwealth Office, the British Museum, and companies like Sony and Deloitte. If you want more content to help you become a confident Japanese speaker, consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell so you never miss a video. When it comes to learning Japanese, textbooks and apps tell you a lot about what you should learn. Hiragana, katakana, kanji, grammar points, common phrases, but almost nobody talks about how you should learn. Most textbooks lock you into stock examples and phrases which are stiff and unnatural. It's hard to move beyond that and really make the language your own. The secret to becoming a confident Japanese speaker is learning the mindset behind the language. It's much easier to understand why certain phrases are said when you understand the cultural mindset behind them. That's why I say mind equals expressions. This is backed by science. Lev Vygotsky, who was one of the most famous and influential researchers on the topic of language acquisition, wrote a lot about socio-cultural influence on language learning. He said, what you think becomes how you express yourself, and understanding the native mindset is a big help in language learning. If you can learn the Japanese mindset, your Japanese language journey will become a lot easier. Here are my 5 key concepts for learning Japanese effectively as a beginner. 1. Understanding Japanese word order. Word order is something that trips a lot of people up when they first try to learn Japanese. The Japanese mindset works from the outside in, starting from general information and working its way to more specific things. This is exact opposite to English, which starts with the specifics and goes out from there. I'll explain more in a future video, but if you keep this simple fact in mind, it will go a long way to helping you get to grips with Japanese word order. 2. Group-oriented culture affects expressions. It might surprise you to know that when Japanese people receive sweets from their colleagues, they apologize instead of saying thank you. This is because in the Japanese mindset, we feel sorry when people go to a lot of trouble for us. There are lots of examples of this in the Japanese language, so keep an eye out for them. 3. Why Japanese people omit repetitive phrases? The easiest way to sound like a native Japanese speaker is to omit all repetitive phrases. In English, it's okay to say, I went shopping, then I went to a cafe, then I went home. But in Japanese, if you keep saying I all the time, it sounds like you're talking about yourself too much. Japanese people omit repetitive phrases wherever possible. 4. Japanese is an emotional language. English is fact-based. If your friend gives a present, you'd simply say, my friend gave me a present. But Japanese doesn't work like that. Emotions like gratitude are built into the language. You cannot just say, my friend gave me a present. You'd have to say, I gratefully received a gift from my friend. The more you can understand the emotion behind the Japanese mindset, the easier you'll find it to make progress towards your Japanese language goals. 5. Learn by speaking. For some European languages, English speakers can get by with learning a few phrases and doing some reading, because they are quite similar to English in some ways. However, you cannot learn Japanese without speaking a lot. Whether you learn Japanese on your own, with a native teacher, or even with another native speaker like a friend or language exchange partner, speaking is the most important skill for developing language fluency. I hope you've enjoyed these 5 tips for how to learn Japanese effectively. I cover these tips in depth in my free webinar on how to speak Japanese for beginners. Click click on the link in the description box below to get instant access. I'll see you in the next video.